Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brain Glitter. I am Bethany Hall.
And I am Sam Griffin.
And today we are talking about the power of connecting with strangers. You know, those random interactions you get when you're at the supermarket or you're
at a bar.
At a bar having a happy hour. Those connections that we feel like sometimes are dwindling in our lives due to social media and people being a little more isolated. But it's so fun.
And sometimes those connections can lead to a great friendship, and sometimes they're just for like that moment, and you like never forget that moment.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes, I made one joke to my barista one time, and now he eats dinner with my family, you know? Those kind of connections.
That's what we're looking for.
And our guest today is, in my opinion, the best connection maker. Our guest today is Negin Farsad. She is a comedian, filmmaker, a regular panelist and guest host on NPR's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. She is also the host of Fake the Nation podcast and TED.com's new democracy series, The Great Experiment.
I mean, I would be happy to just do one of those things. How does she do them all?
I don't know.
That's so impressive.
You know something else, though? She's so impressive, and she makes time for your favorite thing, happy hour.
Oh, God, my favorite thing.
Oh, well.
Let's leave.
Should we go get a drink?
Let's go. This is Brain Glitter. We like to start off with a little game called Confetti and Regretti, where we share one regret and one nugget of joy from the past few weeks. You want to go? You want me to go? You want to play rock, paper, scissors?
Let's do rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, ready?
Rock, paper, scissors,
shoot! Got it. All right. I choose. You go first.
Okay. Here's my regretti.
Okay.
It's an honest one.
Okay.
I feel like I'm working a lot, which is great, and I'm parenting a lot, which is my favorite thing. But I feel like right now, when I take away those two things, I'm a little bit floating, like I don't quite know who I am or how I even identify myself. Mm-hmm. And it's making me feel a little lost.
Yeah. Do you feel that in those other spaces that you are yourself? When you're working and doing the, like, you know what I mean? Are you yourself in those spaces?
Yeah, I think so. But I'm like,
that.
Do I like who I am when you strip those things away from me?
I mean, that's all right. We all go through those phases. We do.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. You'll find your way. I believe you.
Thanks, bud.
My confetti is that I have no bathroom routine. It drives my husband crazy. I do not lotion, I do not potion, I barely wash my face. I shampoo once a week, probably, maybe conditioner if I remember it. And I just go, raw dog in the shower. Don't think that's the right word or phrase, but well, we went with
We're raw dog.
I mean, it's not bad.
No, you look good.
It's pretty good.
Confetti, no potions.
No potions in my life.
Our guest today is comedian, filmmaker, and host of literally all the things. She's an incredible artist who blends logic and play and sometimes incorporates PowerPoints. Please welcome our guest and friend, Negin Farsad.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
How you doing, Negin?
I'm doing fine.
You like our fish
I know.
velvet?
I did just fondle the table.
That feels
it's
good.
It's really inviting. Yes. No, I'm doing well. Thank you so much.
So usually we start off with a little game, and it's called Spill the Glitter, where we start a sentence and you finish it.
Okay.
Are you into this game?
Let's do it.
All right. I'll start. The compliment I love hearing is...
That's a really a tough one because the lady side of me wants it to be like, you're so gorgeous and everybody wants to do you. You know what I mean? That's what the compliment I want. But then I think I got it a message literally yesterday because of a Wait, Don't Tell Me appearance, and someone was just like, you always have such great tags and your wit is 10 out of 10. And I was like, it just made me feel so good that a stranger thinks I have good tags which is a very inside comedy term. I think to be complimented on something that has to do with my brain, I feel is always my favorite.
But I would totally do you. So that's
Thank you so
no
much.
problem.
Because I gotta be honest, I do like those compliments as well.
Me too.
It's a dueling like favorite.
Okay, I feel like a badass win.
I do feel like here's a very particular moment in time when you're at the doctor's office and you have to fill out one of the 45 forms and it says occupation and I write comedian.
That feels really good.
It's not common and it's true. You know what I mean? And I find every time I'm like, comedian? Am I allowed to say this? Oh my God, I am. You know what I mean? And it feels like I'm a badass.
Does that start a conversation when you get your clothes off and you're in your apron? You know, like.
One time, this woman who was a gynecologist, and I was in the stirrups.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you know what? I have to be honest, I've seen you on High Maintenance. And it's weird when someone's like looking inside of you to be like, I recognize you from a TV show. You know what I mean?
I recognize you're outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
it's
know.
weird that she thought of High Maintenance while looking inside you.
I know. So I was like, oh, this is so interesting. Like, but there maybe in the gynecologist's office, there's never really a great time for them to say that they, recognize you.
Last but not least, joy is.
I mean, for me, it is people. It's just people. That's it. It's people I know. It's people I don't know. It's almost especially people I don't know. Some people, I don't know, need spa treatments or something, but I think I just need like tons of interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so special about you. And
Thank you.
Yeah, that I identify with, but I don't pursue as actively as you do.
Interesting.
I admire about you.
Thank you.
So, are you do you find the energy in the meeting of other people? Is that what like fills?
Yeah, and it's interesting because it's not even like I like meeting other people, and then like I was so good at online dating.
You heard it here first, folks.
Was it her brain?
No.
Was it her looks?
It's not because I
Swipe right. Yes.
I feel like people want to be good at online dating and they're not,
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason I was good is whatever this built-in genetic code of like wanting to be around people and meet people, because I would set up, first of all, I only went out with people that like I chose because I feel like men just don't have like a good track record on choosing. And so that was like the first thing. And then the second thing was like, I would email them and I'd be like, hey, that's a nice hat or something, whatever. And they would be like, oh, you too. And then I'd be like, great, should we have a drink? And like I just wouldn't let it go on. And then we would meet at like, let's say 7 p.m. at a bar and I'd arrive and I'd say, I only have an hour. Oh. So everything was condensed into this short time frame.
Smart.
And I would say, and then I would, because within 5 minutes if you ever want to like do that person. And like in my case, I'd be like, okay, I've determined that I do not want to do this person. So I have 55 more minutes to fill. And I would just be like, okay, awesome. I'm going to find out everything I can find out about this person. And every time something interesting came, like I literally remember just going down the path of asking questions of this one guy, and he was a teacher, and he started crying by the end because he was like, he was telling me about a moment in teaching that he felt like he didn't handle well. And literally, again, didn't go on a second date. No, but I was just like, this is fascinating what makes people feel this strongly, and what kind of things sort of like are these, skeletons in people's closets. I always found something fascinating about all these men I didn't want to ever see again.
I think that playfulness, though, comes from your ability to change your expectations on the spot in the moment.
Yeah, because then I went from like, okay, this is not a boyfriend. This is just a really possibly interesting person, a stranger that I get to meet, how awesome. And then I would just launch into that part of it, which meant that I got a lot of second date offers because they were like, oh my gosh, she had such a great time with me. Like she was asking so many questions, she was so animated. And it's like they didn't realize that I was animated because I like people and not because I liked them in a boyfriend way.
I was the opposite. I always wanted the next date and nobody wanted the next date. For me, yeah, it was painful. Everybody just wanted to be my friend.
Well, that's cool.
I was friend zoned my whole life.
That's cool though,
I
because having friends is, Did you have experience with?
My experience is that people would skip over wanting to date me and go straight to want to marry me. I've been proposed to more than I think I've been asked on dates. But it would always be from a man who saw me jump into a relationship with somebody else and then realized that they were in love with me the whole time.
Oh my God. I didn't get proposals, but I did get a lot of like, you're the one that got away from dudes.
yeah,
And I'm
for
like,
sure.
in exactly what way did I get away? In fact, I feel like you pushed me away in many
In fact, I was there for a long time.
I was really sticking it out, and then I left, and there was no getting away or whatever. It was like
there was no escape car.
yeah.
I want to talk to you, Negin, about loneliness, about finding connection, about the joy of talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Because we feel like people are really lonely right now.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to know what you think of loneliness and what's kind of at the root of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, I have a bit about this. The United Nations releases a report on the happiest countries in the world, and the United States has fallen out of the top 20. And the reason is because people under 30 bring down our numbers. They're less happy. And I think that is really attributable to, like, how they were raised with, technology, because people under 30, they don't go out and they don't have sex. And now this is, like, according to the data.
Yeah.
And I think in my day, like I did go out a ton and I did have sex a ton, And so that made a difference in I think just our generation's ability to kind of like go out and hang out and like that was normalized for us. Yeah. This one time, so I had this New Year's resolution to like talk to anyone, anywhere I could. And I remember this one time I went to this cinnamon bun shop, not a Cinnabon, but a Sunday morning at the East Village. And I walk in and there was like someone in their 20s who was wearing headphones. And so I go, wow, I wonder what flavor I should get. Which one are you getting? Trying to get through the noise. And she was just like, huh, and then like she takes off her headphones, which I was like, win number one. And she's like, I don't know. I was thinking of getting the classic because it's my first time. And I was like, oh my God, it's my first time too. I'm thinking about the classic. Maybe I'll get a separate flavor for my husband and we'll split, Then it just turned into a conversation about pastries. And I honestly feel like she had a hit of dopamine. I don't want to speak for this stranger, but I will.
Saw it in her eyes.
And I actually feel like everybody naturally wants more of this. I'm out here with naked ears all the time, slut ears. I'm basically asking for
it. With those lobes, damn.
Right?
Yeah.
And and people are so, in their isolated silos that they're not trying to talk to me. And
I think it is a little bit of these poor kids, especially the kids in their early 20s. They grew up right as COVID was happening and they just fell into themselves and now need permission.
Yeah, to come out.
It's also a bad habit. Like it's habitual for them to just put and they put it on and they never take them off.
Yeah.
We all do those things. So if you get in the bad habit of always going to the self-checkout line at the grocery store and don't talk to anybody, instead of once in a while going to the checkout where somebody rings you and you say, how is your day?
And that's an interesting, The Atlantic wrote a piece recently that talked about the checkout line because the curious thing, and there's no real data on this, but anecdotally what they found was that people would choose to stand in line for the self-checkout rather than go into the shorter line where a human being was the cashier. And it's because of this phenomenon of like everybody has gone in and now they just like don't really like know how to like break out of themselves, even when it's more convenient and faster to do so. And I find that shocking because I'll always go to a human being,
Yep.
even if it's not scintillating conversation, even if that person has no time, like just the idea that we're like engaging in something together for a brief moment, even in silence, I prefer that to like what I'm in communion with a machine.
Yeah.
So for folks who are a little bit hesitant about having that human interaction for whatever variety of reasons.
Sure.
Do you have hot tips? Do you have hot like pickup lines, stranger
Yeah,
lines?
yeah. That's interesting because I think like so during COVID is when I really learned about myself that like I need 12 to 36 interactions a day. That's like that I mainline like right through here. I just realized like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. Like I started going to this cafe that had, you know, outside seating. I would see these people that would go to the same coffee shop every day, and I would recognize their faces, and I'd be like, man, that person was here. You kind of have to go at the same time every day to like see who you're gonna see. And then I noticed a couple of them were chatting, and they would be like, oh yeah, I'm catching up on Game of Thrones, blah, blah, blah. And then one day, because I too have social anxiety, I too worry about rejection. I'm not a robot, you know what I mean? I also worry about those things, right? Even though it seems like I'm good at it, I am not necessarily good at it. The only thing I do is just in that moment where social anxiety is gonna shut me down, I say no and I overcome it. And that's the only difference, right?
Wow.
And these people were like talking about Game of Thrones or whatever. And I was just like, I too have seen Game of Thrones. And I just jumped in.
Dracarys.
And then literally we're talking about whatever. And then I see them again, you know, a couple of days later. And then I see them again. And it turns out a bunch of those people had been going to the coffee shop for years the same time. I basically merged myself into a group of like 25 people that are regulars.
Oh, nice.
And now I have a place where everybody knows your name. Because I literally walk in and I'm like, there's like at least one or two out of the 25 people that I know that go here.
You have a community.
Yeah.
I'm really obsessed with community right now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's a million ways to find it, but it's so important to have it. And my good friend Keisha Zoller and I talk a lot about the importance of finding community.
Yeah.
And so many of our experiences right now feel transactional.
Yes.
Where it's like, what's in it for me to show up at X spot?
Yeah.
At the coffee shop, at the synagogue, at the church, whatever it is. And it's like, there's so much hidden joy in just people knowing your name.
Yeah, no, completely. Again, going back to like pointers, there's so many, you know, tricks of the trade available in the like finding community world. A lot of them are just free. It's free to volunteer. It's free to get like, and then you end up meeting people. And I can't tell you how great it is to gossip with neighbors.
Yes.
Right? That's all anyone wants is to just like, what's the chat? You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about these cinnamon buns.
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like that is something that people, I guarantee there's like a volunteer opportunity that will give you friends.
I also think it's about putting yourself in uncomfortable places, like not just going to the same place where you know everybody and you know everything that's going to happen. Like the joy of part of meeting people is not knowing what's going to happen.
And I think people are afraid of rejection. And having performed in nearly every state of the union and having met people all across the political spectrum in every age group, I find that people actually, their instinct is not to reject.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I agree.
Like, I've experienced enough of humanity at this point that I can fairly say that.
You know what? I think this calls for a quick confetti break.
Woo!
We'll be right back with Negin Farsad in a minute. you don't necessarily seek out people within your bubble, within your
Yeah.
ideologies. You kind of have a knack or
Kink?
attraction, a kink.
Yeah.
The word.
Kink.
You kind of have a
Off on it.
kink
It's cool.
for finding people who aren't exactly like you.
Yeah.
And finding
Commonality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I think it goes back to like, oh man, I bet you that man wearing ammo on his person with his dog in, Murfreesboro, Tennessee has some stories. And I just feel like, where are the stories? You know what I mean? Like, I want to chat with this person because I'm sure they have like, where do they live? Who do they live with? Like, what's this dog about? Where'd they get it? Like, I don't know.
That's curiosity.
It's curiosity. And I'm just curious about it, their stories.
I love that. It's almost the opposite of what I think so many people are doing right now, which is like, I see man in Tennessee with whatever.
Yeah.
And I have something to teach him. Like, I'm gonna.
Yeah, and I think, so I made this movie, The Muslims Are Coming, where I took a bunch of Muslim American comedians on the road, and we did shows, and we called the shows The Muslims Are Coming, and we did a lot of, like, we would meet people on the streets, and we have, film all these interactions, turn it into a movie, blah, blah, blah. And
Yes, it does. You just make a movie with Jon Stewart
just turn
or
it into a
whatever.
movie, no big deal. Yep, got it. Just gonna glaze over that.
And then, but I think what was interesting was, this is where I feel like I adjusted that instinct, the teaching instinct. Because people would say to me, what do you think of 9/11? And I think even at that time, where Twitter was, where the internet was, everyone's instinct around a question like that, if you're a Muslim, is to be angry at that question. And I think I kind of like this improv approach, which is like not to shut down the question, you know what I mean? And to instead to try and like put myself in their shoes. Like if I'm in, Tupelo, Mississippi, which I think is where one of the places I got that question, this person this elderly woman who's asking me this question, and she wonders what I think of 9/11. It's not awesome, but here's my chance to tell her. And she might be shocked to know I too think it was revolting and horrible, right? And so I just look at those things as an opportunity. I don't get mad because if someone was to say something to me about Burmese cuisine, I'm going to ask a dumb question because I don't know anything about Burmese cuisine. And that person could be mad about it, or they can just be like, I'm going to teach her something about Burmese cuisine. I'm not going to share. I'm going to just see where her perspective is. And it'll be fun. It doesn't have to be conflict.
I know that you find yourself in moments where stakes could be raised and tension could get ugly or dangerous. And you have an ability to level things. I love this story, and I'd love for you to tell it about the time you had protesters in the rain.
Yeah, so like I was going to Washington State, to Centralia, Washington, and I arrived at the theater and there was like maybe 20, 25 people protesting me because they thought I was going to turn everyone into Muslims. And so which I also think is fun. It's just like a fun expectation.
Try,
yeah. And it never works. But I arrive and then everyone's like really embarrassed by this situation, and it starts to rain because we're in, northwestern, Washington, and I go up to the protesters and I was just like, hey guys, first of all, I'm oddly honored that you're here because you spent money on poster board for me. Like for me, it's like it hasn't happened, and but it's raining, so why don't you go inside and watch the show? You can sit in the back, and then when when the show's over, you can run right back out and then keep protesting me. And they were like, oh, well, and like they thought about it, and they were like, no, but maybe we'll sit in the lobby. And I was like, yeah. Totally sit in the lobby. It's silly for you guys to stay out here in the rain. And so they I did the show, they waited in the lobby, and then when the show was done, they came back out, they kept protesting, whatever. And that was one of those situations, and the producers were like really embarrassed, really apologetic. And I was like, no, like this is amazing. Like, these people have every right to protest me. And that's what's great about this country. And I have every right to perform. And that's what's great about this country. And so we're both just letting these First Amendment rights play out with dignity. I think it's disarming when you diffuse situations. I think a powerful skill. And it doesn't require skill. It just requires not taking the bait.
Yes.
Every time I've heard you tell that story, I get full body chills.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
We all have a lot to learn from that example. I want to go back to meeting strangers. Do you have 2 questions? Do you have a favorite stranger you've met? And where's the best place to find them?
Where are they hiding?
Where are the strangers
Again,
hiding?
where are the strangers hiding?
You know what's funny? Just recently, I remember like meeting this woman maybe a few weeks ago because we both went to the same, like a different coffee shop than my normal because it was like a pastry shop / coffee shop. Don't worry about it, guys. And this woman was sitting outside in like a patch of sun, and it was a very cold day, and it just seemed like she was like having a lovely moment, and I was like. And I said something to her like, oh, you're really taking in this like mini patch of sun we're getting on this cold day. And she was just like, oh yeah, it's like I like to, take a second when you can or whatever. And I was like, dude, totally. And then we chat. And then it gets into like her dating life, which is like my favorite topic of anything, And this woman is like in her 60s and she talked about dating a man who then came out to her as non-binary and what that was like. And I was like, wow, this is fascinating because it's also like I don't hear that very much from that age group.
Yes.
Like someone who's like pushing 70 who has a dating story about then realizing that the person they're dating is non-binary and what do they do with that and how to, I also just think it's really fascinating how quickly people get deep. Mm-hmm. I mean, this was in the space of I was waiting for some kind of sandwich. Do you know what I mean?
And you got a full overshare sandwich.
You got all the extra toppings.
And it was so fun. And it also, I think the other thing about it was that it did something to me, which was, man, I think people who are pushing 70 don't have as much fun as this woman is having. And I need to like readjust. I like might go into some of these conversations thinking, this person's older or they're not, out there, but, And this woman just completely like shattered those expectations. And that's so great when that happens. I love it when that happens because then you're like, oh, I don't know everything about people. You know what I mean? People will surprise you at every turn.
I also think you have this crazy ability for people to overshare to you. Like I've just been sitting here and wanting to tell you my whole life story. So I don't know what energy that is, but I also think that's a weird magnetic thing that you do.
Right.
But when you were younger, did you have somebody that showed you how to do this or did you just figure this out on your own?
You know what I kind of feel like is like everyone could benefit from drama class. Right?
Story.
Amen.
I agree with that so hard.
It doesn't matter if you're in science or and because I think I was like a quiet kid. And like I got into drama in high school and it was a brain opening and it made me feel so much more comfortable with so many different types of people. I think there's something about pretending not to be yourself that helps you be yourself even more.
And that's the show, everybody.
I feel the same way about improv.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think everyone should take an improv class. I don't care
agree.
what you want to do with it.
I
It makes you
agree.
a better person.
It makes you a better person.
And a budget class. I feel like we should have all taken a budget
thank
class
you.
in high school and learned how to deal with the credit
I
cards.
still need to take a budget class.
Don't we all?
It's also a great place to make friends.
Ooh,
It is.
and find people to hook up with.
Yes.
Negin, is there anything we didn't cover that you just
No.
want to say?
No, I love all of this. This was great.
Thank you. Can you plug anything?
Yeah. You know what's interesting right now? There's just 2 little things that I did recently that I mentioned because I think it's maybe motivating us. We're maybe at a time where we're like not thinking so highly of our country, but I do love America, and I feel like my role right now is to like remind people that there's still things to love. And I gave a commencement address a few months ago at Lawrence Technological University, and I feel like I try to make the case, for the optimism we should still have about this country, of which I have so much, and I'm happy to share. Like, if your sources of optimism are dwindling, and I also, along the same vein, I hosted this TED Democracy series where they dispatched me to Philadelphia, and we did this series called The Great Experiment, and we learned about, like, first of all, like how difficult democracy is to get off, get on its feet, how long it's taking us to get the suffrage that we know and love today at the levels that we have them today. Different types, we talked to like old school lesbian activists in Philadelphia who had a group called the Dyke Tactics who would stage kiss-ins.
They're so good with their
right?
names.
So good.
They're so good with their names.
And so good with like the crazy, wild, art-filled activism that they did. And it's just, I think, again, if you're having a hard time believing in America right now, check out some of these things and maybe they'll help, because I want you to like join me in believing again.
Wow. Jeez. Well.
She said it all.
She said it. Thank you so much. God bless America.
Oh, thank you.
God bless you.
Yes. Thank you so much for making time for us today, Negin.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Now let's turn these cameras off so we can get into more dating.
Yeah, definitely.
Before we go, we'd like to end this episode by spreading the joy. So we asked our guests to give a quick toast to someone, living or dead, who made their life brighter, lighter, and more joyful.
I wanted to record a celebration of life moment for one of my best friends from high school, Leonard Dela Cruz. He was one of the funniest guys you've ever met. He did voices, he did physicality. I'm making him sound like a clown, but it was all like at an elite level hilarious. And as my gay bestie, one of the great things about him was that he would just tell me directly and bluntly to my face if I looked like garbage. And I feel like you really need someone like that in your life. So many people are careful about that kind of thing, not Leonard. And for that, I miss him so much, and I celebrate him deeply.
Thank you so much for listening to Brain Glitter. If you know someone who would enjoy this episode, please hit that little share button and pass it along.
To learn more about our guests, you can sign up for our newsletter at brainglitter.com and follow us on all the socials at BrainGlitterPod. Brain Glitter is a production of Who Says Studios and Skeebop & Sons, created and hosted by Sam Griffin and Bethany Hall.
We are so grateful for our little glitter factory, including Keith Haskel, Jordana Jason, Clare Kenny, Jenn Cambras, Paul Vitolins, Emily Fuller, and the brilliant team at Manhattan Neighborhood Networks. Our theme music was created by Cameron Myers.
And special thanks to our husbands, parents, families, and friends, the unofficial and unpaid co-authors of everything we bring to the mic. We can't wait to welcome you back the next time you hit play. And remember, let curiosity pull you forward and joy find you wherever you are.
I mean, this episode is over.
This is over. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Can't wait.